No, there was a kind of a... I guess the nicest way of saying is there was a kerfuffle going over Hatcher Air Station. But it looks like Emerald has just kind of brushed away Connery's Air Force. There was fighting going on, but it never looked like at any point that Emerald's Air Force was ever in any serious threat. It was just kind of some lone scythes for Connery. No, duking it out, but the numbers game in the air is all powerful. I mean, you might be super amazing, but...
Well, Connery did have their strike force back at Naom Am Station, and then Emerald decided to encroach upon their territory.
Here's an interesting thing. Did you know that Zoe doesn't necessarily help bursters? So we have a Zoe Max with dual bursters, and it's not actually helping them.
It doesn't help anything outside of 10 meters.
So there you go.
Pretty insanely useless in most cases.
And he's using bursters thinking, I'm really awesome. What you need, son, is lockdown. You know, because lockdown's pretty good.
You know, we were just talking about being able to attack multiple places, making it seem like you're fighting more numbers. This is a perfect example. We just watched Emerald resecure a construction site, and here they are down in the south at Biddle Eastern Depot.
They're on Broken Vale again with the squad.
Like they have platoons, just absolute platoons of people holding the point here. They have multiple sunders, multiple spawn points. They have a galaxy hovering above. This is an incredibly difficult thing to get rid of. Even if you have resources, even if you can pull maxes, even if you can throw grenades in there, you can't just kill the people. You have to kill everything that they brought with them. And Emerald has been doing this all day, just having all of that stuff ready. And here comes Connery to try and resecure. They look like they're right at the door. They do have some maxes. They're throwing some grenades inside. We're going to see if they can clear it off. And then
which base you at?
A reverse point hold. This is Biddle Eastern Depot. This is a crazy, crazy fight inside the point room.
Farah, just to let you know, the time has disappeared from your screen there.
Okay. I'll try and get it back. Cheers.
And just chewed apart. I mean, they were so close. Connery came so close, they cleared off probably 2/3 or more of Emerald that was sitting here. They just made another pushback into the other side door.
It's pretty chaotic. We are here watching this fight going off. You could say the air doesn't and vehicles don't make a difference on this base in that they don't have a direct impact on the capture point, but your air, if you can hold the point, still holds some key choke points. You can apply some pressure, but we're not seeing that. It's pretty ruthless, although the maxes are now in for at least a max for Connery.
Engaging all their reavers and lived in sight.
Whereabouts is this air fight?
The A point at Biddle Eastern Depot is
Construction
absolute
site
chaos.
It's flickering. It's still okay. Here comes reinforcement max for Emerald.
And this is exactly what I was talking
about.
Oh,
pressure, and they've got a point back.
Just because you killed the people off the point, they immediately have spawn, and look what they came back at.
They said, oh, you brought maxes? Right, now we'll commit the reinforcements and the numbers, and we'll put maxes as well. It looks like most people have chosen, in fact the vast majority of people have chosen to go with the cells camo.
It's starting to look like... I see a lot more scythes than I do reavers right now.
At construction site beta?
Yeah,
that is
like
what
Connor just won that engagement.
What we saw at Middle Eastern Depot is what makes it so disheartening to try and fight this. It winds up being, you know, you manage to push in, you manage to get the point, you have that victory if we got the point, but they have so many ways to spawn back into you and so many other things to pull, they just say, okay, well, we're coming back with maxes, and they kick you off the point 10 seconds later.
Kudos to Connery for beating up on Emerald's Air Force.
So we got 60 seconds now to get the capture point back for Biddle Eastern Depot, and the problem is that although there are 4 entrance points to the cap point, they're only going in through the main 2 that they have access to. They're not coming in from the other 2 access points, and there's a wall of max, so grenades are calling the day. We've got a lot of wounded maxes. Just keep throwing the grenades in, grenade spam, and you might be able to do this. 25 seconds to go. You need to run in. There's no time left. Go. Go now. Yeah, oh well. It's like they just wanted to play the kind of delayed I ain't going there, there's maxes in there, and they're just pushed the point. Fair enough.
Oh, this is. Oh, they need more people. They need more people. This is
Where you
brilliant
at?
by Connery. They have a small squad that has come back. They actually spawned into the biolab, and they're coming in the back way to the point at Broken Vale. You can drive a Sunder up there. They don't have one, and they only have maybe 8 people. I just caught it on my minimap as it happened. They might actually get in here and get to the point if they're. This was Future Crew.
Are they fighting underneath or on top?
Unfortunately, they just didn't have enough people. It was maybe 8. Oh no, I'm sorry.
Oh wait, no, it's possible. Saw a very fast light assault there with the jet. He did an extremely good job of getting to the point.
That was such an exceptional flank, and I all I saw was Future Crew. I apologize to the other people. They spawned into the biolab and they ran across the hill to get over here to the point. They ran up over the mountain through the back door. There was no NC back here. They had no idea they were there. That is absolutely the kind of thinking and tactics that Connery needs to start using.
They've got themselves the point, but the fact is, do they stay and defend? Because it's still... Well, okay, after a minute to go, then they can leave off, so it's not that long. No, I wanted to have a look at... Gurney Dam has been stopped again. 2 squads. You can see a huge platoon have just recalled at Gurney Dam with the population numbers to stop that hack from going through. I'm not sure if NC wants to fight a Bytol Biolab. It seems kind of sketchy. I mean, they're basically in the north. They're trying to push Awful Pit again, so that'll be interesting to see whether or not they get to the amp station. Their options after this, because they're getting stuck at large outposts, is just to push along the Broken Vale lane afterwards. That's the only lane that is like a small outpost. We'll go north and have a look at Awful Pit.
Generator repaired.
Red.
Looks like Banu's got themselves a capture point back and are pushing back on the rest of the NC vehicles.
There is a really nice open defense going on here by Connery at the Awful Pit. They're pushing forward through the trees and the swamp here, and they're trying to take out the vehicles and Sunders that Emerald is bringing in. They're doing a really good job of it. They've managed to actually push them back quite far and blow up several Sunders along the way here.
Game referee, an all call, 30 minutes remaining now. 30 minutes remaining.
Connery has snuck a Sunder over by Bitol Eastern Depot, behind where all the Emerald Sunders are, and just decimating them one by one. No one's here to defend while everyone's trying to get into the biolab.
Oh, I see you.
Right
oh.
No, I'm at Bitol turn over.
Oh, I meant Farah.
You are screwed.
They're decimating all these.
Oh, there he is. Hello, AOD Infiltrator. He's looking at that point. He wants that point. He's like, no, I want that point. So he was the guy who flicked it when there's nobody. Oh, he's going back in for another one. We're going to follow this guy. Coast looks clear. Oh wait, someone else is flipping it for him. Oh, that Infiltrator didn't have enough found time. Please do continue while I watch this one Infiltrator decide what he wants to do with the rest of his life.
Connery has the largest push yet I've seen on Akan Southern Labs right now. It looks like the better part of a platoon or an entire platoon here. It's an interesting choice. It is a single cap point base, but you're really gambling that they don't bring their air in here because it is one of the most open and exposed things that they can come in, and there's hills all around for them to just hop back over when you lock onto them. I unfortunately this. Oh, never mind. Actually, here comes Emerald with a Galaxy, trying to drop onto the point immediately, and they brought very many maxes in that Galaxy.
I don't know, dude. Looks kind of sketchy. There's a lot of people.
There are actually 2 Emerald Maxes which have made it onto the point of Akan Southern Labs, and now they're saying, "Hey guys, come down here. I can't flip this." But
I tell you what, the cloaking suits in Planetside are better than the Predator has, because this Infiltrator is kind of slowly edging himself along the water, and he's not de-stealthing. He wants that cat point. I don't know, dude. There's motion darts. Unless you've got motion sensors, this isn't going to work very well. Oh, he's getting closer.
With even population, Emerald manages to take back...
Oh, enemy infiltrator! Enemy infiltrator! I saw it. Did you see it? Oh, he saw it. But did the other infiltrator saw him? The infiltrator's right there. Oh, he's running in. He's going for the point, but he's got hit by the head. Oh, he went for the infiltrator, but he got hit by the heavy on the back. That was tragic. He was patient. He was calm. He was calculating. But oh, another infiltrator is going to back him up. No, he just gets killed. Right, you're a lesser infiltrator. That guy, he was patient, but just didn't go anywhere.
This fight is still raging here at Akan Southern. This is finally Connery using the tactics that they've been having used against them. They have spawn sunders. They're not in the greatest of places, but they can come back in and they can try and bring back people to the point. And that's exactly what they've done. They did not get kicked off the stage.
Yeah, but they've been pushed off, and okay, now they're Emerald's pulling Vanguards, pick off the spawns. I mean, at least just one Vanguard, but still, it's a nuisance.
Unfortunately, they cannot seem to get people onto that point. They've managed to kill several Sunders as they get in, but they can't flip the point.
Okay. Vanguard stopped. Sunder's still alive. Getting inside is tricky though.
Emerald Air Force came back with a vengeance, and now looks like they're running off Connery Air Force at Nom.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there's so many maxes at Akan Southern Labs. That with just, lots of motion darts and sensors, even with the spawns. Okay, yes, fighting here prevents the fighting from occurring at Broken Vale, but I suppose with the point at Nason's Defiance, you do keep Broken... No, never mind. 2 full squads plus a Broken Vale. So this fighting at Akan Southern Labs is now redundant.
Something that we saw very early on was Connery kept Sleepy Hollow ticking. It was something that they managed to get a small group of people up there, a squad, maybe 2, and they would keep it ticking. And eventually they were kicked off of there. They lost construction site Beta behind them. They had no longer a connection there. And now that's exactly what Emerald's doing to them at Hatcher Air Station. They aren't really committing a whole lot of people there. They're just having enough that they can keep the points flipped, and now Connery has to send people back to reinforce it, and they can't push out on Akan Data Hub, which is probably a little bit easier of a cap than Southern Labs. It's an internal point, it's a powerhouse building, you can do a little bit better of a point hold there. So by protecting that, if that's what Connery's trying to do, is go for that biolab, Emerald is protecting the biolab by just keeping Hatcher Air Station ticking in their favor.
So
Sunday, I mentioned earlier that Brad pushed up into Bitol, are now using that as a staging area to retake the Eastern Depot.
Well, currently at Broken Vale Garrison, we're watching this very large, we've played our hand. I mean, Emerald has played their hand here. They're going to possibly lose other bases due to this. Maybe even Gurney. Well, no, it's interesting what's going on, but the simple fact is they've got a lot of people on the air pad section of Broken Vale protecting the jump pad. I don't know if they can go underneath, maybe, but the point is that they're basically having a defense in distance, not letting them get anywhere near on the top side, which is smart. Pulling away from the point, keeping them as far away as possible.
Gurney Dam resecured again. It's almost, you could replay the resecures and they look identical. Connery will get a vehicle down there, a Sunder, something like that, and it'll just get slowly picked apart. They wind up looking like they have half the number of people at the base that Emerald does. I think that's just simply attrition. They don't have the spawns there. They don't have a galaxy hovering above.
Look at this. They've got 2 squads. Assuming the numbers at Akan Southern Labs are correct, they've got way too many at Akan Southern Labs. Alright, now the numbers just updated. So they've probably come back to Broken Vale, but they're still outnumbered. They're pushing along the bridge because the jump pad simply isn't working for them. No maxes, all infantry. 90 seconds, they've got enough time to bring maxes, but it really must be down to the fact that resources are going to be tight. This is a horrendous killing field that they're trying to come in from one direction. They need to come in from 2 directions, possibly the air pad. With 70 seconds to go, though, it's definitely in Emerald's favour. You really want galaxy reinforcement. Alright, hello. Pressure on the roof. Anyone dropping out? One guy.
Yes.
One guy. Okay, one medic. Let's go.
Broken Veil is ticking in favor of Emerald. Hatcher Air Station, it looks like it was
Max
ticking,
crash on Eastern Depot.
I'm actually heading to Hatcher Air Station because it looks like the VS decided to try and resecure that with more numbers, and we're going to see if they can get there in time. It's 90 seconds.
Hey guys, I got this. That's a nice crossbow. Crossbow the heavy assault in the groin. Well done.
It is a minute remaining, and the VS have population at Hatcher Air Station. I just don't see the population. I don't know if they're all spread out or what here. Oh, they see. Okay, they're finally. I guess they're moving point to point in a group.
Alpha capture point is swarming with Connery, but with 9 seconds to go, I mean, they're getting closer and closer, but 5 seconds to go, there's just simply too many Emerald on the cap point. Connery will probably succeed in getting to the point and wiping off the Emerald force, so go TR, congratulations for Captain Base for being the dominant team at least. But ultimately, well, let's tell a lie, I wonder if Connery can actually push them off here, and there's very bloody fighting going on.
Hatcher Air Station had a massive number of Connery head back to resecure it, and that's now ticking back down. But they sent a lot of people here to deal with what was basically 2 squads the entire time, and that's exactly what the purpose of that tactic is. You send a squad in, you send less than a squad in, and you get it ticking down to where the other team panics and sends way too many people to deal with the number of people who were there.
Well, I mean, Emerald sent a large number to go vehicle. Emerald sent a large force to go Broken Veil. Then they got pushed off. And the point is that now with 4 minutes to go, we have a very large Connery force not doing anything else anywhere else. Oh, look at this Sundra. And the Max is about to crash back inside. Connery's like, yeah, we got the base, we got it without Maxes, or more or less, and now we're going to come take it back with Maxes. I'd rather see them all going in one kind of concerted team rather than kind of piecemeal, but yep. The Maxes came to the woods today.
That is a waterfall of gorillas down that cliff face. Holy cow.
You know, this was on a BBC One nature show of David Attenborough, where this barnacle goose, 2 days old, has to jump off a 400-foot high cliff, and can't even fly. It just sort of kind of gracefully floats down, splatters on the ground.
20 minutes remaining in the match now.
And then proceeds to kill Connery as it moves up to the spawn, to the cap point.
That was
the mini-map has got to inspire some level of, well, inspire your own team, but you know, instill a level of fear in the enemy. Like, what do you do if you're a grunt on the ground, right? What can you do as one man against such overwhelming shotguns and steel?
It is. It really has to be disheartening to face this, especially knowing that now Connery has to be light on resources. They can't pull their C4, they can't pull their AV grenades.
Here's an interesting question. What do you do with all these Maxes after you've taken a base? Do you just lose them, or do you try and use the Galaxy to kind of, you know, reuse your Maxes? Because I mean, it's a nice one-trick pony. You go in, overwhelming force, you take a base. But do you try and re-employ... You know, I mean, there's going to be like 12 Maxes plus here. Do you try and pick them up with a Gal and drop them somewhere else, or is it just too cumbersome to try and save resources?
I think at this point, the Emerald is flush with everything they need, and wasting a Max is not something they're worried about doing.
Well, instead, Gal has a bunch of people. I wonder if it's just one squad, or has got some Max guys. Are the fun police on the TR 800 plus accounts?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
Unfortunately, here at Kessel's Crossing, the VS have more population, but they weren't in the right spot. This is a incredibly dense... Oh, never mind. Here they come back. They got wiped out, but they did manage to get a Swan Sunder in, so they are coming back onto the point here. They have population at this base. This is a base that you could technically get to a bunch of choke points and make it very difficult for Emerald to come back without sending a real large population to you. it makes all the difference. Now they have that spawn sunder. Connery can come back in. Unfortunately, I don't see any maxes coming in. I think that's just a fact that they don't have the resources to pull them.
So I like this level of recycling. That I followed some maxes and I followed a galaxy that picked up a button. It was mainly just one outfit, although they had like 4 or 5 maxes. They had a galaxy pickup at Broken Vale, and they just hopscotched over to construction site Epsilon. And there were some defenders, but they just stomped all over them. And now they've recycled the same maxes that they used in the previous pool and used them in a max hold on attack on construction site Epsilon. And now they're defending to move out to the 2 bridgeways, I'm liking this, and just contain them on the bridgeways. I'm going to assume, yes, Connery's Air Force, they had a Galaxy, but now Emerald's Air Force is here in style. So they're using their air to stand outside, be safe, and then just throttle Connery's attempts at resecuring look at these maxes in this building, just waiting for someone to come in range and to get shot at. Because there's no teleporter building. So unless they bring a Sunder in from a previous base, Wainwright or Iron Maiden, it's actually Iron Quake, but yeah.
Iron Maiden's a band.
Yeah, it's torture device and a Halloween name. Oh, that Infiltrator! I saw you before. You're just crossbowing. You know what, sir? I am going to have a look. You are. Let's see. Oh, who are you? You are NC-197.
Emerald's Air Force has found Connery's Air Force above Broken Vale Garrison. It looks like Connery did not have near the numbers to counter what they ran into, unfortunately. They just lost probably half their people immediately in that engagement. The others are turning away to save what resources they can. It seems like Emerald has decided to use their air as a resource to try and protect their galaxies, to move galaxies around and things like that. And Connery seems to be using its air force as a gang squad, and they can go after oblivious rest of air. You know, if the Emerald air isn't there, isn't paying attention, they can go after them and get some kills. They can kill a couple of galaxies, but Emerald is holding the air dominance of they are consistently up, and they are consistently using their air to allow people to get on the point and to allow people to bring their galaxies in.
Yeah, Maelstrom. There's another channel? Alright, never mind. We'll inquire about the stats. I was trying to find that NC guy in stats, but he wasn't in the list.
Connery seems to be just giving up Hurricane Secure storage here. They do not have people spawning in.
Construction site Epsilon has been swarmed with reinforcements in the form of an anti-air Sunder. Yes, that's going to question mark help. Maybe the blocking forces are running over people. What's the default handheld crossbow called?
Crossbow? Actually, I don't know its official name.
Yeah, can you find out for me?
Yeah, hold on.
Just type it to me in TeamSpeak or something.
The Hunter QCX.
Here you go, guys. Alright, hold on. 29 kills for the Hunter CQX. I think we all know who was doing that. Just wanted to show you that.
Connery is back doing another very good point hold at Bittle Eastern Depot. You know, but the differences shine through. They're here holding, and if they lose this point, they don't really have any way to come back in. And here comes Emerald, just chucking grenades, and here comes...
We're going to get construction site Epsilon as well. This stalling or holding is now falling away. Emerald is just applying pressure and getting bases again.
That max crash, this wasn't even near as many people who have been fighting here in the past. That was probably only a squad worth of maxes, only a squad worth of scat maxes. But, you know, it is... They were spotted, you could see them, and you could just see this conga line coming for you. And you have to know, standing on that point, that you don't have the resources, you don't have the C4, you don't have the grenades to take care of those guys at this point.
That infiltrator you're looking for, he is cute beaver.
Who, sorry?
Aaron, it goes off the name, not the ServerSmash character now.
Yeah, I can see how certain characters they're actually tying in. So one thing, and I'll show this on the leaderboard, is we actually do have people able to tie in names instead of ServerSmash things. So you will see here that some people actually do have their names in, and that's because we're tying them in either on an Excel document or people are self-signing their character name with their, so we can show in stats who they are. It doesn't mean that their character in game. They'll still be like ServerSmash something. That's why I couldn't find them. But guys probably got like 29 close quarter kills with the crossbow, which is cute. Most of them, I bet, are in the groin of Vanu heavy assaults. Oh, construction site beta. There's plenty of time for this team that just took Sigma to get back there if they want, or just keep applying pressure and going into Connery's rear territory. There's actually not that many people here. Compared to the force that took Epsilon, Beta is a relatively light defense. Not really any vehicles, not really any massive infantry, not really fighting outside the building. I can see in 6 seconds to go, Emerald saves this.
Now, there was a first for Connery. After a massive resecure from Emerald, it seemed like Middle Eastern Depot was over, and they started moving out, and someone from Connery stayed behind. I don't know if it was a single stock folk. I left as well. And they started the cap point ticking down again, and it had to be another massive resecure from Emerald. That is the kind of play that Connery has to do if it wants to secure these bases and allow them to move forward on lanes. They've done a very good job of protecting the biolab. The biolab is now protected for almost 3 minutes here. Use that either to come back to this base or go to another base on the lane or something. You don't have to worry about the base behind here. You need to use this time to defend somewhere else and allow yourself to push, because you don't need people here anymore.
Right. There was a request in the chat, and admittedly they are a little bit behind us, but it was like, show us candy cannon kills. There have been 3 candy cannon kills. Somebody really wants them. Construction site beta, however, has been saved, as we thought it would be. They're trying to bring up reinforcement sunders here for Connery, but the problem is that it's an entrenched defense now, and it's just not going to happen. Not unless you have huge numbers. I want to know if the Hatcher Air Station probably isn't going to go anywhere. That's been going back and forth the entire game. It's probably the same guys that are there the entire game, D117 from Emerald, possibly. But they are now trying to attack Wainwright Armory, so they've got themselves a punch in. They're not going anywhere in Cairn Station, they're not going anywhere in Bytold Lab. Hurricane Amp Station is a natural sort of block, so they have to go back and forth and defend. They're not going anywhere in Hatcher Air Station, and the Awful Pit is just a really difficult kind of base to try and take in the nature of its cap point.
All call. 10 minutes remaining in the match now. 10 minutes remaining.
Which means the last soft, easy point to take is the one you described at the beginning of the game, pushing through the Southern Acan labs, and then just going through single points. They got Brokenville Garrison, they got Construction Site Epsilon, and now they're trying their hand at Wainwright Armory. They're 64 to 35. Can they break 70%? What do you think? I don't think so, given the nature of... They'd need to get Awful Pit, Norm Ravine Overpass, and that's got a gen thing. That's quite difficult. If they can get Wainwright Armory, they can split up to Liberty and Iron Maiden, and they could really spread out and force, extra territory flipping.
This is the first time we've seen somebody exploit that center lane. I talk about this every start of a Hossin match, and this is the lane I'm talking about. There's nothing to stop them here. This is a single cap point base. Wainwright is far better for the defenders, especially defenders who have air support, than it is for... I'm sorry, far better for the attackers than it is for the defenders. It is an open cap point base, but it is on top of the hill. Whoever is sitting up on top of that hill has the ability to shoot down at anyone who's running up it. So that is something where Connery is going to have to push hard and now to get in there and then get people ticking on Construction Site Epsilon just to protect that split that's going to happen to Fort Liberty and Iron Maiden if Wainwright falls. Now they have... This is where Connery needs to just start pushing. If there is a small cap point base, you need to have people on it. If there is a small cap point base that is not secured, you need to have the majority of your population, you need to have a squad or a half squad forward to the next one, in the off chance that you manage to resecure so you can flip immediately. That is the tactics. Forget the hardcore defense, forget sitting there with a max or a vehicle. You just need to start trying to leapfrog everywhere all at once.
We're watching the Wainwright Armory fight, and it's basically a King of the Hill fight currently, and Although we can't see it on the minimap, it's because there's no detection, so the Emerald forces that are coming up this hill, we have no idea how many people are up here. And it's a lot. They do have a decent beacon though, hidden inside the... That's nice, it's well hidden. It can only be barely seen inside the radio antenna. It's providing reinforcements. The Sunder is about as close as they can get it. Unfortunately, it's easy rocket bait. They need Air Force though. I mean, if they really are serious about taking this base, now the threat, of course, is that they'll lose bases elsewhere, so hold on what you've got rather than take what you don't. Which they're trying the biolab. They need to save Lambda. They need to help. They save secure and storage. Lambda probably won't be that hard to save. Beta is a small force. They can probably save that. Kessel's Crossing is the main threat currently that Connery's putting up. I'm gonna go warp over there quickly and have a look.
And they have a very good defense going on. They are managing to...
Game referee and all call. 7 minutes remaining in the match now. 7 minutes remaining.
So with that call, it means that no large facilities or large outposts can cap in time.
In time, yeah. And it means that certain bases are eventually going to start falling out of contention as we hit that sub 4 minute marker.
Hey guys.
So I'm interrupt yet again. I've just updated the stats page with the numbers of the characters if they've gotten their names mapped. So if you all refresh, you can see the numbers of the in-game characters.
Now, oh, Emerald managed a perfect little pincer move here at Kessel's Crossing. They managed to come in from both sides and they put a Sunder up very close to the point. Again, this is just more maxes. It's not quite the conga line again, but they certainly have more of them than...
Where did they pull from though? Where did they leave? The Wainwright Armory force is gone entirely. And the fact is, and any attack at the Awful Pit, no, there was one there to begin with. So this Kessel Crossings force is going to stay and probably clean up. Do they have the entire team stay? It's hard to say because there's still pressure from Connery from their spawn Sunder. Because this team essentially wants to leave and go to Construction Site Beta and make a save on Construction Site Beta.
A lot of this stuff, it comes down to Connery's learning some of this stuff a little too late, and they're not quite in sync. Here, you know, they had connection to Construction Site Beta for the entire time they were attacking Kessel. So if they were making this move now, and had been able to hop their people around, this would now cause quite a problem for Emerald. Emerald would have to hop back and forth, and maybe you could, you know, catch them with leaving some people behind and stuff like that. Without that, it's just going to be, okay, we're going to resecure this to a certain time, and we'll hop out over to Construction Site Beta and deal with that. And of course, Hatcher Air Station is falling mightily. That actually is a large outpost that can't cap because there was so much taken off, you know, the clock already.
And they got a huge number. They really are committing to it.
And Biddle Biolab also can't cap in time because it will go down to 3 minutes if allowed to. Now it looks like Connery has gone in to save it. I think this has got to be a pride thing. You help about trying to get onto the point ahead of it and protect it. Go save your biolab. Go, you know. Maybe you can't push out and take other things. Don't let them take the biolab, and that's what it looks like they're doing. They're pushing in here. They pulled maxes and are taking the points back right now.
Yep, we're looking at the Hatcher Air Station is the next big threat, though. Yeah, they can save the biolab, but the problem is the biolab needs to be defended for the rest of the whole game until it gets to under 2 minutes, and there needs to be a full save under 2 minutes. We're about to hit the 4 minute marker.
Yeah, I'll go down in about 20 seconds.
Yeah, so I'll have a look at the map and we'll see what bases are left in contention.
Yeah.
Now this is a great example of something that Connery needs to be smart about ignoring. Hurricane Amp Station is ticking. Hurricane Amp Station doesn't matter at all. Let them sit there. That's 6 minutes. It won't even cap with...
Game referee and all call. 4 minutes remaining now. 4 minutes remaining in the match.
Okay,
Get
so
your people out of Hurricane and send
Hatcher Air Station matters. It's 96 plus. We can see that this is the force where it really matters. It's a huge enemy force. Well, no, it's a large numbers there, I should say. Awful Pit doesn't matter. Kessel's Crossing at this point does not matter. It's not going to matter. Construction Site Beta, unless in the next 20 seconds it goes back to Vanu, it's not going to matter. Hurricane Amp does not matter. Bytol, it can still, in the next minute, if they get all 3 capture points, in theory, be captured. I think, and the problem is they're losing the points on Hurricane Air Station as well, this being the Emerald Force. They need to get all 3 points if they want to make this happen. So, looking at the bases, Kessel's is now out of contention entirely. Construction Site Beta, out of contention. Hatcher's Air Station is probably out of contention. Hurricane Amp's out of contention, and the Biolab is still theoretically the only base that can go through in the
Hatcher
next.
can still go through as well.
If they get all 3 points, which is unlikely. I wonder if the Force Commanders realise that. It's like, send everybody! Oh wow,
The
the
Biolab is
anti-air force on Hatcher Air Station's roof though is real, Zio. There's lots of anti-air burster maxes and lock-on rockets.
Connery, where were these maxes when you needed those last-second resecures? Where were they when you needed to do point holds? Suddenly I see 2 squads worth of burster maxes on a rooftop, but it don't matter.
Who knows what roles they were playing beforehand. But that's a very impressive anti-air flat control. They know this is the only base that's potentially in contention, and we're reaching the point now where the biolab can no longer be captured. So that's
Right
it.
there.
I think we can finally call the score. We've got 2 minutes to play out, so we'll let them have their fun, but I think 64-35 is going to be the final score.
Probably.
I mean, they do NC does have population here at Hatcher Air Station, so it looks like they're going to try and come back.
Small NC4 is trying to get them to have their feet on Charlie capture point, but it's going to get underbossed. No, he's not going to underboss. Knifed. And a second knife. Is he going to get him? Oh, he missed the knife. There's a pistol. What's going on? Oh, there we go. His friend saved him. Well, that was horrible hit detection, probably. Right. Nearly there. I think they're just kind of playing it out now. We'll have a quick look while we watch the last few seconds of the leaderboard.
There is a NC squad that is making it almost to the door of C. Oh, this is holy cow! This is way more than a squad. This is the entire NC force here. So it matters whether they can get on that point in time.
The C point?
On the C point, they are an entire platoon of people behind C point trying to push in the
Wow,
door.
it's a killing field.
Okay, guys, the 1 minute mark just passed. So it's
I think
impossible.
And they are actually getting chewed up by a very good Connery defense.
Somebody got a flash grenade kill. That's impressive.
30 seconds remaining.
Candy cannon kills went up to 6.
Wonder how many slasher kills?
Have a look.
Game referee on all call. There are 10 seconds left remaining in this match. Almost
190 slasher kills.
Nice.
4, 3, 2, 1. Match end.
Stop the stats.
I did.
Oh, there we have it. End of
Yeah.
our first round of 3 game.
The game
65.
referee end result is 64% for NC Emerald against 35 for VS Connery. Congratulations to Emerald.
So their first seeds, they get top pick in the championship game, whoever their opposition may be, and at the moment that could be anybody. It really could, because Emerald's got a fairly convincing win against, well, I say fairly, it is a convincing win against Connery. Connery's now down in points. It's up to Cobalt. It's in their destiny now. If they want to get a win against Miller, they can go through. But also, if Miller, by some miracle, gets an extremely high point win, more than anyone else has got, they could also make the championship match. So it's still all up for grabs tomorrow. But right now, let's see if we can't get our reps. I really want to know the kind of how things were played out and how the Force Commanders led stuff, because this is fascinating stuff. I don't think skill-wise. I mean, look at this. Look at the kill graph. This is the first time I've ever seen the kill graph that close. Look how close that is. Normally there's like a 2k jump or something between the bars, but there's nothing in it in terms of kills. So it really comes down to player skill in how they play for the objective, or what vehicles they do and how they do stuff and whatnot. And it comes down to a sort of a tactical and force commander level. The strategic force commander level, but then also the tactical, how you do stuff in a certain area. But in terms of player skill, this graph here tells me that, hey, we just got equal number of kills.
What do you want for the interviews? The reps and force commanders?
Yeah. Yep.
Please.
Justicia on all call, can the reps and force commanders only, please go to the interview channel? Thank you.
I think one of the things that we saw here was the skill at killing is almost equal, as you said. The thing that makes the difference for Emerald is how they go about attacking a base. They make sure that they have those Sunderers up. They make sure they have galaxies. Whether that's people assigned to do that or whether it's everyone just knows that, hey, look, there isn't a Sunderer here, I need to go pull one. They are exceptional at keeping themselves in fights, even if they're kicked off. And we saw that time and time again. Connery would pull people. They would kill everyone off the point. They would get all the kills that they needed to, and it didn't matter. Basically, 30 seconds later, here comes the same number of people back from 4 repair Sunderers. They're sitting off in the corner, and this time they brought Maxes, and you can't counter that.
And
So yeah,
in the air as well. In the air as well.
And we're looking at the map base overview at the moment, and we can see that in the beginning, Emerald had a fantastic start. They just dominated right up to the 40-minute marker. It was just base after base after base, taking all the neutral bases, and then kind of a small back and forth with Connery, and so they had a fairly large lead by taking all the neutral territory in the beginning, and then it wasn't until we got to about the 40-minute marker that it sort of stabilized. They started taking more territories, and it kind of went back and forth for about half an hour. So Connery stabilized kind of for half an hour around this kind of branch here where it was going back and forth. They were taking base, losing base, taking base, losing base, and then all of a sudden it just went into another gear. Emerald just cranked it up, and they just pushed the capture points even higher, and for the last half hour of the game, and they just pushed it into their favor heavily. So I see everyone's in the interview channel. I guess we'll just jump in there and give them a chat, see what's going on. Hey guys, how you all doing?
Pretty good. How do you?
That was quite a match, and we saw a lot of great play from both sides. There were definitely moments that stood out to both of us of exceptional play, and I don't know if you guys have been told because you weren't watching the stream, but something that hasn't happened in other matches is you guys were neck and neck as far as kills. It was pretty much even as far as killing people on the ground and in the air. The thing that was different was obviously capping the bases. And Medius, you were the force commander for Emerald. What was your strategy? What did you set out to do right from the opening to conquer this continent?
Well, we just made sure we had people doing forward caps. We made sure we had people that were in position to be kind of redundancies if we need to redeploy side. These lattices are really complicated. You don't get to kind of easily jump from north to south.
Did you have like a pressure team, like an infiltrator group that was just being nuisances, forwarding base caps?
We had a nuisance squad. I think you probably saw them at the beginning at Nason's and then at Hatcher for the rest of the game. Loved them. Also, so that was D117. Big shout out to them. As for like infiltrators, we didn't have specifically that. We had some skirmishing guys that occasionally would get called in to maybe set things up. But it was the platoon leads being very responsive and thinking ahead that got a lot of this done.
And I guess the other question is, see your command structure, right? I mean, being the force lead is one thing, but with so many lanes, so many battles, did you delegate a lot of like roles and responsibility to other people? Did you say, hey, such and such your platoon lead or whatnot, you've got access or control of the whole south, you just do what you need to do it? Or like, how did that kind of relationship work there?
I micro a lot, and I'm really bad. Sometimes I'm really bad at that. I think about the hour and 30 mark, I was getting a little jumpy. And Lem managed to calm me down there. But I do keep tabs on where everyone is. I actually have a new battalion UI set up in front of me, which is
nice.
incredibly user-friendly. Totally not.
Is this like something you've made yourself, like a piece of software or like a UI or something, like a map or something to keep track of where everyone is, or what?
It is 36 dice on a printed table.
Nice. I was gonna say, because we've said this before, you ever seen the Battle of Britain thing with that kind of fighter command HQ?
Pushing things around, yes.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, that's what you need. That Planetside Force Commander is a completely separate game. It's like it's literally the game Force Commander.
Now that makes it easier, and I absolutely would beg SOE to get something like this in game, because it would make Smash so much more I don't know.
Funny you're talking about that, because I was having a discussion the other day where, there was a Reddit post about lots of Phase 1 implementations. And one of the things was like squad improvements. Now they added the thing where it was kind of more new player friendly and joining and all that kind of stuff. But one thing I think we wanted, and I'm not sure how, because it's live first before anything like ServerSmash, but I was like, wouldn't it be great if you could merge all your platoons into one giant battalion and have multiple kind of force leads or beacons or waypoints, or God forbid the ability to draw giant phallus penises on the map because of battle plans? That's what people want. That would be very, very useful, at least in the ServerSmash sense.
Now, one of the things that we certainly noticed in this is, Connery, you claimed that you weren't going to have much air and you had a lot of trouble getting air. The air fights seemed to be very, very neck and neck, and while the tactics were totally different in what they were using, whenever we would run into the Connery air, they were absolutely doing work and killing a lot of people up there. Can you talk a little bit about how many people you had up there and what you were trying to utilize your air to do?
Pretty much we had the standard 48 platoon going in there as air. Instead of focusing on air to ground on a match like this, we were purely focused on air to air. So like when we were trying to take a base or defend the base, neutralizing galaxies was a big deal, and a lot of times what ended up giving Emerald the tip in the balance was the fact that they had galaxies over the point on some of these bases that have a long distance in between point, much like Broken Veil and Hurricane Secure.
See, that's the thing, because
pretty much all they were focused on.
We were looking at Gurney Dam a number of instances. I mean, new Future Crew, and there was a few other outfits. Unfortunately, it's the only one that Redland mentioned that I could have heard. But the nature of the capture point is that there's such a long runtime for the spawn rooms. We thought, if ever, Connery had the Air Force, and Lanza was telling us, no, they definitely have an Air Force to help with the ground, that would be the base, because you were so close to capturing Gurney Dam time after time. What happened there?
Did well in terms of when they had a chance to get there and mop things up, they could. But a lot of times, whenever they got engaged by the Emerald Air, we were actually getting down for quite a bit of the match. My Air Force was ground.
There's
I noticed that.
In terms of using them effectively, at that point, it's more about, okay, well, now we use them to keep us from getting farmed majorly by air, rather than sacrificing them into a possible base that may or may not go.
So one thing I wanted to know is, your air definitely seemed like it was in Cobra mode. It would strike, and then it would pull back and wait, and maybe engage at long range. I wanted to know do you felt that helped, that worked, or it was just the wrong circumstances?
I think it's very effective on a map like this. I mean, another thing that we were dealing with is that, like with our current server population and the way things are going, it's becoming increasingly difficult for a server of our size to field 288. Like, we don't have two teams of people to pull from here. So going into a match with close to 24 down, our air was one squad down, I believe, close to. I know we got closer. We kind of reached out to some of our Japanese players, and we had some players in there that didn't even speak English, but you know what? They were flying for us, and they were doing pretty well in their Scourge's League.
Now, how do you feel the opening went? What were your goals in the opening? And did you get what you wanted, or did you lose stuff that you really kind of hinged your battle plan on?
Gurney Dam, and I forget what they renamed it for the Halloween stuff, but the Hunter's Blind. We needed those, and they didn't go through. And a lot of our weight that we were able to throw around was going to come from that. So not getting that on the open was pretty much the turning point for us right off the get-go. Like, we didn't care about the Bella. We didn't care about Nascents. For us, we were just going for a good opener that gave us the minimal amount of lanes that we could have. So, if we managed to take those two bases like we should have, that would have put us at just 6 lanes to defend while we can constantly harass 9. But instead, it flipped it vice versa for us, and that's where things got shady.
Now, Emerald, this is the second time that you guys have put up an Air Force, and I've said it before. You used to be all very anti the air, or at the very least, you couldn't get the air, so you said that you were anti the air. What's it like to have an Air Force, and how does it fit into the well-known Emerald meta?
It's really nice to have the ability to call in logistic skills to hunt down enemy logistics and to be there before redeploy side takes place. I mean, redeploy side is the meta, and if you know redeploy side and you know when to bring in extras of whatever force you have going in, that's pretty key. It's very nice to have. I think Pizza has something to say on this matter too.
Oh, if I may break in here real quick, I gotta say it's helped me a lot with my PTSD from the frickin' Cobalt match. It's beautiful.
So finally having your own Air Force helps getting hammered by somebody else's Air Force.
I don't cry anymore.
And that's a huge... That's basically thanks to Wycliffe Slim, or Wycliffe Lime. I can't remember how to pronounce his name.
Here's the question for both you guys, right? Tomorrow, we've got Miller versus Cobalt, and in theory, any of the three servers can make it to the second round team, second place team for the championship match versus Emerald. What are your expectations of the game between Miller and Cobalt?
Cobalt by a landslide.
By a landslide, you say?
Taking second place and going into the finals.
You willing to put money on that?
Miller, I think Miller can develop the team to be as competitive as Cobalt is right now, but they need to do some working on that.
Yeah, our last smash with Cobalt were very, very good, and we just got a few good breaks, so I'm sure they've reorganized themselves. They're going to be amazing.
Alright, well, looking for it. So, I don't want to go into assumptions right now, but you're thinking Cobalt will win, and that it'll be Cobalt that plays you. Presumably, you get first dibs now on, if that's right, isn't it, Redland? Is it you get to pick faction, warp gate, and or map?
Yes. So yeah, basically, the map. As long as whatever server you face, you cannot face them on the same map you have fought them before. So I believe you guys faced Cobalt on Ezimir, which means you wouldn't be able to choose Ezimir as the map, and then you would get choice of either Warpgate or faction, just like a normal coin. It's basically giving you the coin flip on.
So it's the advantage for being the championship winners, or sorry, the group winners, that you get two choices out of the three potential options.
That, however, won't be us, I believe, unless
that's right. Yeah, you do alternating teams.
You rotate, yes.
I see.
So it won't be a rematch. It'll be a new match for Cobalt.
Indeed.
On the assumption, we're just assuming here, we're very neutral. I would be very pleasantly surprised if Miller pulled it off by some miracle. Or, Connery, you might, I don't know if you really want to, but have a rematch with Emerald if Miller wins really heavily but not heavily enough. You never know. Anything could happen.
So, is there anything that we haven't covered here that you guys would want to talk about before we head out and wrap this up?
I had a slight oopsies at the beginning of the match where my graphics card decided that running my antivirus at the same time as the game and two comm channels was not going to happen, and I had a bit of a 4-minute downtime as my game crashed and I started screaming.
I had that. My PC crashed as well during mid-stream, so that was interesting.
Yeah. So Lemgar very gratefully picked up command for the 4 or 5 minutes while I was out and cursing very loudly, being very upon hysterical.
We could hear.
Yeah. It was locked.
Alright, we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much, guys, for playing with us today. And Emerald, we will see you in 2 weeks' time when we know more details about the game. Me and Redland, we're going to jump out the channel just to kind of end post-game show. Congratulations on your victory, Emerald. Commiserations, Connery. I think that's it for the games with Connery, unless you want anything else in the future. And we'll talk to you guys in the future in the forums and whatnot, kind of flesh out how we do stuff in the future. But well done, Connery. Thanks for playing your 3 games. And let's go, Redland. We'll jump out and we'll see you in a few weeks, Emerald. Okay, so that's that. Somebody wants to say something, so give us 1 second here. I do believe it's the Emerald. Here we go. 1 sec.
After 2 incredible hours of blood and nanites, going undefeated through round 3 in this tournament, with their 3rd win by majority territory control, Emerald United!
Thank you, Nanners. So that was his loving pre-recorded, yes there is one for Connery, but we're not going to play that. It's his pre-recorded victory shout out. So, Emerald undefeated. Something tells me that crown's going to be on their subreddit for some time.
They are so good at what they do. And it's not that there aren't kinks in the armor, it's that they have figured out a way of playing that other servers cannot match.
They're so fluid in how they move around. It's like they flow like water while everyone else is tumbling like rocks. It's just that smoothness of how they get to where they need to be when they need to be there and applying pressure and just getting what they're after. And factor in now that they actually use an Air Force, there isn't really that much need for a ground team vehicle-wise outside of just Sunder spawning. And we saw a couple of Vanguards, but that's it. It's really just down to their air working in fairly well synergy. We heard what they were saying, the Connery guys, about how we had an Air Force, we were focusing on anti-air, but I still saw lots of Air Force being used by Emerald, ground pounding and being super effective.
And that's the thing, you watch throughout that match, and Connery started learning how to take advantage of some things. They never were able to put it together into capturing territory that allowed them to get back into things, but they would see, look, they put those vehicles on the point. If we put those vehicles on the point, we stand a better chance. And they would get closer and closer, or they would even cap the base and take some certain...
Well, that is another point, isn't it? There is the force commander and his platoon lead's strategic level of where you put people, what bases you choose to attack, and how you provide extra reinforcements. But then there's the tactical level, where yes, there's the skill level of the player killing kills, but the tactical level is how you tactically attack a base. So for case in point, at Gurney Dam, originally it was just you drop on it with ESF drops, but then you brought in harassers, then you brought harassers and sunders. Those are all tactical decisions. How do we physically take this base? And tactically speaking, Emerald is also extremely good at being able to choose how to take a base. They know that we need this Sunder combination, or we need this Air Force assistance, or we need what they need for a certain base. They do their homework, yeah.
And all it's going to take, whoever faces them in the championship, all it's going to take is somebody else doing their homework and saying, you know what, hey, if we do this, we can get that base off the beginning. And the thing Emerald has never faced is they have never faced being down in the beginning. They have never, as a combined server, they've never had that moment of, hey, it didn't work in the beginning. Now what do? We're on the back foot. We have to respond to it. That is how somebody's going to take advantage. If anyone can, that's how they're going to do it.
Right, so before we head off today, guys, there are a number of shout-outs that I've been asked to do. First of all, the long-winded one, or I have actually been given a speech. So here we go, from PS2 Alerts shout-out. So as some of you may know, PS2 Alerts has been down for about a month now. Maelstrom 26 has been very busy with updating it. Yes, very busy. It's not good enough, Maelstrom. And he's going to release the brand new version on October 31st. Barring any major issues. The new version will be fully in real time, where every player, outfit, weapon and vehicle are all tracked. Territory percentages and bases captured are also instantly updated too, providing an up to the second statistics for all alerts. Think of it as recursion for alerts, apostrophe mark. There you go. If you have seen our website, planetside.battles.org, you'll already seen a sneak peek of what the new version is creating. If you have any feedback for Maelstrom for the stats, please let him know. For more information about the update and to contact Maelstrom, please visit the current website, ps2alerts.com. There you go. There's a shout out for PS2 Alerts, who show all the lovely statistics and search features and colours and all that kind of stuff. It's not 100% perfect, but then again, we do have high demands and he does extremely good work, so thank you very much there. Right, second thing. I said this at the beginning of the stream, I'm going to say this at the end of the stream. Public pickups. Last week, we had on October the 18th our first public pickup in ages, official one, on Jaeger. That was successful. We had about 50 plus people take part in the public pickup. If you want more information, you just need to talk to Reeve87 on Reddit, on ServerSmash. There is a post there. They fought on Crystal Ridge Comare in a rematch, ISA Manning Operation, ISA Mountain Pass, Apex Genetics, Not Substation, Geological Camp, Survey Camp. They fought one team against another team of random teams on Jaeger, unmolested, just having a fun sort of kind of mini scrim type thing. No pressures, no MLG stuff or pro stuff. It was just having fun and enjoying it. So they had a lot of success and it was really good. And that will be happening next week, November the 1st. So basically the gap weeks between our ServerSmash games. So if you want to take part in the public pickup, That is next week, November the 1st, on the Saturday. Check the subreddit for more information. Okay, and then maybe we'll get like somebody to, lots of tweeting and we'll post and get the word out there, because if you want to play, then it's there to be had. Whew, I think that's everything read. And then finally, tomorrow, Miller versus Cobalt. Miller will be VS, Cobalt will be NC. It is tomorrow, October the 26th. Because of daylight savings change in Europe, not America, it is an hour later for the Americans, even though it's an all-European battle. So for the Europeans, the start time is still technically the same for the Americans. I'm getting confused. Yes, it is the same start time. Same start time for Europe. 6:30 for pre-game, 7 o'clock match start, which is normal Sunday time for UK, and it's 7:30 pre-game, 8 o'clock match start for the Europeans on Sunday. For the Americans, it's 1 hour later. So as you see in the stream, it's 11:30 PDT for pre-game, and with the game starting at noon, and 2:30 EDT. Eastern Coast for pre-game.
I've been informed by several members of EU servers that this is due to President Bush apparently switching our daylight savings, which used to be in sync with you guys and not. So now we can.
I remember that.
We can blame Bush for that. So
yeah, you can
Bush for switching that.
Blame him, thank him, whatever. So anyway, that's that. Yeah. So anyway, so tomorrow we'll be back. We're going to talk about the Miller Cobalt game. We'll stream that. High hopes for Miller and Cobalt, and see who can decide the second place game. And then after that, we'll talk about the details of the championship match, which will be 2 weeks yesterday. On the Saturday, it will be 2 weeks, and then that will be our championship game, where we'll find out who Emerald plays. I think that's everything, Redland. Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you want your name resolved on the statistics, please let Melson26 know, or let the admin staff know, and we'll put your name in. And no Connery guys wanted their names on, which is unfortunate, but if you do want them on, give us a shout and we'll pop them in for you.
Excellent. Okay then, I think that's everything, guys. So thank you very much for watching. We're going to head off now. We will see you tomorrow, and fingers crossed. I'm a little bit biased, I am, for Miller, so I'm going to be cheering them on, although I will be neutral in stream. And Cobalt, fingers crossed to you. You do extremely good work, so we hope to see good work from you guys and see who goes to the finals. Again, thanks very much, and we'll see you tomorrow.